Leveraging your local knowledge and becoming the go-to in your area. One of the most common questions that I get asked by sourcing agents is, how do I find serious investors to work with me? Those who are willing to work with me and won't mess about. And really for me, what they should all be asking themselves is, how do I become the go-to agent in my area? How do I make myself and my business the go-to agent in my area, for my area and for the strategies that I'm going to source for? That's the question that you should be asking, because it's not a matter of making people want to work with you because of who you are. It's a matter of people wanting to work with you and levitating to work with you because of your knowledge and what you can do for them. So the answer to the question basically is, how do I get the best investors to work with me? Is to become the best in your geographical area for your knowledge and for your chosen strategies, your chosen investment strategies in that area. It's that simple. Just become the go-to for whatever it is that you choose. So my area for sourcing and investing has always been in Lancashire. Yours will be completely different areas. But it means that you have to know your chosen area, as we say over here, like the back of your hand. You have to know them incredibly well in order for an investor to really take you seriously and want to work long term with you, but also for that trust to build up. I say it a lot in marketing. It's much easier to keep selling widgets to the same buyer than it is to keep trying to sell a single widget to multiple different buyers, because the trust level builds up and the sale process becomes easier. You don't have to keep selling yourself. So you have to know your investment strategies, what works in your area and where they work. And for that, you will need a street by street basis knowledge. That's how investors work. Investors who invest and have the knowledge to invest in your locations will know the best streets, the best types of properties for whatever strategy they invest in. You can go to any place in the UK and you will have two streets backing onto each other. One will be great, one will be a no-go area. It's the same wherever you go. Some will be great, some won't be. And this is why your knowledge is absolutely key. If an investor talks to you and you're finding deals in a place that you've never visited, just by going on Rightmove, how do you know that it's a great deal? You don't know the street by street basis. You don't know where local crime is. You don't know where there's a serious drug problem or a serious crime problem or anything else, because you don't know it. So my point is, you need to get to know your geographical location incredibly well, and you need to get to know the strategies that work in your geographical location and where they work, so that you know in your area, for argument's sake, where the first-time buyers want to buy, if an investor wants to do a flip potentially. Or you could look at flips for those who are downsizing. Maybe they're looking for bungalows or smaller properties and they're cash buyers. That would be a good flip market. Or you could look at where is a great family buy-to-let, or student HMOs, or professional HMOs, serviced accommodation. Know your area. Don't try and source for everything. Choose one or two strategies and focus on that. The other key things, apart from your area and your strategies, is know your figures. So if you choose, for argument's sake, buy-to-lets, you should know the streets that work best for buy-to-lets. We've always called it the sweet spot. And I've heard it described as it's somewhere between the Bronx and Manhattan, the sweet spot, which is where the house price is good and the return is good. It's not in the poorest area, it's not in the richest area, but it's in the sweet spot. Where are your sweet spots? Know your figures. What do properties sell for in those areas once you've isolated them? In what condition? So in back to brick condition, in poor condition, in average, in good, in very good condition. What do they sell for? Look at 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom terrace, semi-detached, whatever it is that you're focusing on. What rental values can you get? What's the local authority rate for tenants in your area? Know that. Know what's happening in your area around positivity and developments. So, what funding is in place for projects that will give a positive uplift? It could be improvements to universities or new universities. It could be large companies are investing, increasing employment, transport links for schools and shops. All of that are really important to a lot of people who may rent a property from your investor. We've often used ONS, or the Office of National Statistics, to get data on anything to do with property. And if you go to the Office of National Statistics site and you search property, and in the area that you're looking, for argument's sake, ours is Lancashire, it will bring up all of the reports and censuses carried out on your area around that topic. And there's an awful lot of information in there. You can find out the percentage of properties that are actually local authority rental or private rental within the area, the number of tenants, the average income of people living in that area, the average age of people that own their own homes in those areas, who are mortgage free in those areas. All sorts of different information you can find out from the ONS site. You can also look at Google, and if you type in what investment projects are in your area in 2026, it will bring up a list. It does for mine. And there's possibly major investment in the tens of millions, if not sometimes the hundreds of millions of pounds in your area. Now, what are those investment projects around? What are they going to bring to the area? Could they provide new demand or added demand for serviced accommodation, student accommodation, HMOs, family homes, or something else? Create guides that you can share for free with investors that are interested in working with you around this data that you've gathered, around the great aspects of the area. What investment is coming in? Is there a huge demand for private rental properties in your area? What are the average rental returns? Don't tell them the areas, the specific streets, but what are the average rental returns on a 2-bedroom terrace property in your area? Make sure that you have great deal presentation templates and examples of the types of deals that you can find in your area. So once you've isolated your area and your strategy, you know the streets that they work in, you know the values of them, you know what they'll rent out for, you know how much they'll sell in really poor condition, good condition, great condition. Start looking at those that are up for sale on Rightmove, for argument's sake, and analyze as if you have a buyer for it, and create, this is the type of deal I can find. Would this work for you? No. Okay. What would? And these are the types of conversations and things that you can provide. Talk about your area on social media channels, especially in video content. You don't have to give the streets away. Just generally talk about it. You don't even have to be on camera. Just show a park and just say, I'm just walking around my area generally, just looking to see what there is. Talk about your area. Talk about the investment perspective in your area, the great things about your area, why it's great for families or students or whatever market you're focusing on. That is how you get great investors to work with you.